in this time that we're in, particularly now more than ever before, you look at the individual brand, the personal brand, and you look at the company. And I think I read it somewhere. It's like the personal brand is 562% more engaged, has far more engagement than these corporate brands that you're mentioning, the likes of the Coca-Colas, the Apples. They have all this structure in place. They have all these funds, all this ginormous budgets. But a 16-year-old posts regularly on social media and the engagement goes through the roof. And here you are, we have this multinational companies who are struggling just to get a like. There's something going on there, isn't there? There's almost like this popularity race at the moment that people are searching for authenticity, and they don't want to be sold to. So like you said, that story, that little tiny pearl that drops when you tell your story, that makes people feel as though they can connect. Companies lack that to a certain degree, but the individuals are able to connote that, to communicate it, to really just bring it alive. What is it about that we are so addicted to?
So now companies are more drawn to personal branding than even like doing regular marketing, because they believe that these influencers or these people who have branded themselves in a particular industry have more reach, because they have real people under them, even though some people don't have real people, right? So they positioned themselves to be in that place where intentionally to be in that place where companies can reach out to them. But if you're not positioned, you can't get there.
How do we get positioned?
So I always say something. There are something I call 4 V's of branding. You must have that to be able to get there. So you must have vision, you must have value, you must have a voice, and you must have visual. Now, vision is understanding the journey you're on. What problem are you about to solve with your brand? So you need to write down how you want your brand to function. Like how my brand was 3 years ago is not what it is now. I had to intentionally move things. Now a different category of people reach out to me because I'm positioning as a fashionable tech entrepreneur. You know, before a lot of people saw me as, oh, she's so fashionable. That was it. So I realized that was the story people were telling when I'm not in the room. So people were connecting more to fashion because, well, then I had just a fashion company. I didn't have a tech company. So now because I have to align my personal brand with my business brand, I had to also adjust it to fit my story. So that vision has to be well analyzed. You have to know why you're on the journey. You have to know why you're doing this, because with that comes your content anyway. Now, okay.
Please go ahead.
And also value. You have to know what your value is, because people like to connect to what you believe in, what you stand for. You can't be everything to everybody. You have to have a value. Like, okay, for example, I believe in woman empowerment. You know, it has to show through your brand. You know, you love branding. It has to show through your brand. So people need to, it builds authenticity from your audience as well. Then voice is the way you communicate to your audience. It has to be a feeling. It has to connect. For example, if you look at the brands you follow today, is it that you follow them because of you love the way they write, you will love the way they sound, or the way they've made their aesthetics? So all this has to be checked. Then the last is your visuals, the way you put your content, the way you put it out. Video. Do you want to use video as video is the most engaging kind of content now. I use in video. I just going to use just banners. So you have to have these 4 V's in line before you even get to being an influencer or have your personal branding in check.
This episode is sponsored by Blowfish Group. Blowfish is a destination in the heart of VI where you come to disconnect and relax far from the hustle and bustle of Lagos, a popular business hotel with 60 rooms, a pool, conference room, a gym, and multiple outlets of restaurants. Okay, so just going back a little bit in the understanding your V's. Is it the 5 V's?
Yeah, the
right?
4 V's.
The 4 V's. Understanding your 4 V's. It strikes me as the process in which a company goes through, which is outlining what your mission statement is, what it is that you're actually trying to communicate with your audience, what it is, what is within your essence, what makes you a company that somebody should pay attention to. So it's almost like you're structuring your personal brand the way you structure
your
a company.
It's a company.
All right. So
people are making a lot of money from this.
Yes, they are.
For some people, it's their 9 to 5.
But the problem I have, EBELE, is I find that a lot of people are doing it for
The
positioning. I don't want to use the word clout, oh Lord. Okay, clout. A lot of people are doing it without fully understanding who they are. So what they're basically doing is seeing that, okay, Bella is posting X amount of things on her socials. Let me post the same. But it's not necessarily in alignment with your own personal values.
Yeah.
So what you're basically doing in essence is you're pushing out content that is not really you.
Good.
So when you now meet these individuals, their content and them could not be more worlds apart. They're so different. So I think for me, it's okay, fine. You want to do personal brand, because quite frankly I believe everybody has a personal brand, whether you're intentional about it or you're not, right?
Yeah.
There's always a personal brand there. So I think really it's being more intentional about how you want to package your personal brand. But there's a huge gap between packaging who you are in a coherent, consistent manner and just pushing out content that you think that people want to hear because it's the right thing to say or the right thing to post, or it makes you sound incredibly intelligent, or it makes you come across as someone who's super fun, but it's not really who you are. So I guess what I'm asking is, how do you go about creating the most authentic version of yourself to establish a personal brand, taking in the structure of a company and how they go about defining who they are? Quite a loaded question.
So what I will say, personal branding is intentional, is personal. So when you're not authentic, people can tell. It can't last for long. So there's something I always call the unicorn strategy, which is the people you admire or people in your industry, you kind of look at the kind of content that are going viral on their page. They're in your industry, not just random, right? And you can see people's interaction with that particular post. You can recreate it as your own. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's so, because social media is social. You have to learn on social media. You have to give on social media. So it's not an island where it must be original content owned by you. No, you can
repurpose
yes,
the
you
content.
can, exactly, you can. But you can't live another person's life. Personal branding is you. It has to be you. Unless, of course, you can be consistent being someone else, then kudos to you.
I don't know who's doing that, but you must be exhausted. You must be tired.
Exactly.
Because it's not sustainable.
Yeah. So for you to position your, have that authentic self to be able to align with what companies are looking for, you have to have the 4 V's.
But does personal branding have to be for the purpose of getting paid for? Okay, so I run a business, right? And I don't do. I'm not looking to leverage necessarily on sort of being seen as an influencer per se, because I do believe very strongly that we're all auditioning for things that have not even happened in our lives yet. We're positioning for opportunities, but not necessarily opportunities that say, okay, here's 500K for looking pretty on your social media, and I believe you're also going along that same journey as well. You're trying to position as an industry expert in your field so that you can now leverage on that positioning within your business, so that your business can connect on more human level, and you can connect more. You can also connect with others on more human level, so that then your business, which is your company, is now feeding through that in an indirect way. I would believe
exactly. That's me.
So EBELE is telling her story in essence in order to authenticate her business. That is my understanding. Am I wrong or am I right?
Well, yes, because I can't really, when you're running an online business, you can't really kind of separate yourself entirely.
You can't?
No, for me. I'm talking from some people own companies and they're not even on social media.
Yes.
So I'm addressing people who want to actually build their personal brand. If you don't want to connect your business to your personal brand, then fine. But if you're for example, the way I am, I'm intentional about being an entrepreneur that runs a tech company. So everything about me says that, fashion, says tech. So I'm building that authenticity about what I do through my personal brand as well.
Absolutely. Welcome to SUSU.